Hi guys, BMU here. Just a quick intro and guide in your first setup of the app. So once you've made your way over to the website and hit download, that should download the latest version. If it hasn't, for whatever reason, you can click on help here, check for updates, and that'll give you a prompt to let you know that you're on the recent one or give you the option to download the new version. So once you're loaded in, this is a screen you'll be presented with. The first thing you want to do is come down here on this red glowing button that says set username and set your username to be the same as your TCGA or your Rift Atlas username, whichever platform you prefer. If you have two different usernames across both ones, then you'll need to set this each time so the tracker can pick you up depending on what platform you're playing. The second thing in the toolkit is the sync button. So if you want to turn on auto syncing, so when you log a match, it'll go directly to the community, just make sure this is on. If it's off and you want to sync manually, there's an option for that later, which I'll show you as well. And then lastly, you've got links to the Discord where you can get help directly from myself and the team, and the website and Piltover archive as well. And just to go over a few other things in the toolkit as well. So we can take a screenshot. And again, if you want to set that, you can change the save folder where that will go. But that will basically take a quick screenshot of the game state at the moment for review later on if you want to do that. So that's it. You're all set up. You're ready to go. The next most important feature is the match tracker. So when you're in a game and battlefields have been revealed, there's two things that you can do here. One is you can hit the record button. That will save it as a replay file, so you can have a look through the game later step by step, and I'll show you that in a little bit. The other thing is the scan button. So when you hit the scan button, it will pick up your username, your opponent's username, legends, and possibly battlefields. If it doesn't pick up the battlefields, you can click here as well, and that'll scan the initial battlefields. Once the game is done, basically, if it was a best of one, it's nice and easy. All you need to do is click first or second. You can click the win, draw, or lose here as well if you want to log it on the granular level. But if it's just a best of one, all you need to do is put in the score, type in any game notes, and then win, draw, or loss at the bottom here. If you want to track a best of three, you can do that again individually. So essentially, you can go, say, I went first on this game, my battlefields were whatever they might be. I went second on the game before, I lost that one, and then went first and won that game as well. And then you can log the overall score here at the bottom. So that'd be 2-1 in this case. If for whatever reason it doesn't pick up the legends or the battlefields, you can manually type, and it's very quickly. All you need to do is type in like the first sort of letter or two of the legend, and it will bring up the searches for it as well. So that should cover that. And this works for Rift Atlas as well. Same theory as TCGA. It does have a memory feature, so sometimes it can get a bit confused. Just overtype and it will work in future, hopefully. But if not, obviously fixes are ongoing. So what's the beauty of using this app over just like the TCGA Arena or Rift Atlas? Well, basically, once you've logged all your matches, you can see these here as well. And if you go to the Decks tab, you can put in your Piltover archive deck, and that will save it as an active refreshable link. So essentially, all these decks, if I make any changes to them on the Piltover archive website, they'll automatically update here. And then when we log a match with an active deck, it saves it as a snapshot on that deck. So for example, if I go to my matches and I go here onto my Yi deck, it gives me a snapshot of the exact deck that I was using in that match. And then it will update on the Piltover archive website, but not on here. So this lets you see that this particular setup of this particular deck is performing into this particular matchup. And then obviously, if you want to view other people's deck, you can do that as well. And then you can just copy the deck text there if you want to copy the deck for whatever reason it might be. Next up is the match itself. So if we go into the match itself, so you can make any changes. So if there's any errors on the match results or anything, when you hit the log button, you can change them. The other thing you can do is add flags. Now, flags are essentially search filters. So what that means is, say, for example, I wanted to review this game. I could type in review there, comma. I could put like tempo as, comma. I could put whatever I wanted in here and then hit save changes. So now when I do the filters at the top, you can filter by, legend, by result, by if you went first or second, what battlefields were used in the game as well. So if I just wanted to see my Grove of the Godwillow game, I could type in Grove there and it'd only show me games that involve Grove of the Godwillow, for example. And as I said, when you put the flags in, you can type in, like, for example, review here. So all the games that I have with the review flag will flag up here. If I have, the word tempo in there, all the games against tempo decks or that I've set the flag to tempo will show up here. So it just allows you to quickly go through all your games for certain flags that you put on. Again, you can use this to put like dazzling. You can put this to put like champion choices. Whatever you might want to put in these flags is available to you. Now, when we click on a game, if it's recorded through Rift Atlas, the replay feature is really, really good. So once we've clicked on and highlighted a game, we can go to replay and it will show you a turn-by-turn breakdown of that game, including who scored when, how long turns were, for example, and even who held the battlefield if it's got that information as well. And it takes little screenshots at certain points during the game. So you've kind of got like an active timeline of what was happening in that game as well. The TCGA Arena one is a little bit funny. I'm working on it still, but as you can see, all the information is there. It's just how the information gets divided out at the moment. The next thing you can do, as I said, if you didn't sync this match automatically, you can press sync to, and then you can highlight the community and press sync. You can obviously control click for multiple highlights, so you can do multiple things at once on that case. And up the top here as well, you can export to CSV. So you can just download all this match data. Opponents, self-explanatory. And again, you can put flags on opponents. So for example, there's a rival or anything like that, you can flag them and you can see all the results versus that certain opponent. And then the My Stats page gives you just a nice visual representation of the My Matches page. So you can see obviously win rates. You can click into this to drill down into opponents, which battlefields, how many points and things like that. And then on this side, you've got a draggable bar that can essentially show you sort of a more visual sort of representation of your top legends plays, your win versus loss percentage. And this is a really interesting statistic as well, your game points differential. So look, according to this, I've got 63 wins, 23 losses, and my game points differential is only 17, which says that basically all my games were very, very close, which is quite an interesting statistic to show there as well. And again, you can click on any sort of results here, drill down into battlefields, match history, first, second choices, and things like that. And then this is all replicated across the community dashboard as well. So if you click on the community tab here, it shows you all the results across the community tab with the same functionality as, to filter by legends, by results, by seats, by battlefields, by flags. Gives you a nice little leaderboard here. It's based on a Wilson score. So basically, if someone comes in, they win one game and they get 100% win rate, it doesn't put them to the top of the leaderboard. You have to have a high win rate, high amount of gameplay and stuff like that as well. Leaderboard at the moment doesn't mean much, but it's nice to see. Legend meta, so it shows how many people are playing what legends and their win percentages as well. Again, this is across the whole community. Again, the match matrix, so same sort of functionality as your matches, but across the community. And then last thing that I didn't mention was the private hubs. So if you don't want to share the data with the wider community and want to keep it within your team, all you need to do essentially here is call your hub whatever you want it to, set a password and create hub. If you want to join a hub, then it's the same process. You type the name exactly, you type the password exactly, and you hit join hub as well. And then once you're in there, the hub has the same function, exact same functionality as the community pages, but just your private team data. And again, these aren't publicly displayable, so you need to know the name and the password so no one else can find your data. The other interesting thing I've got at the top here is just some meta alerts as well. So it just picks out some, really strange data points or some interesting data points. So for example, Aurelia win rate shifted from 82 to 67% recently. So again, just showing you all that data as well. I think in terms of like that's it for functionality and setup. If there is any questions, obviously just hit the Discord button down here to join the Discord. That'll take you to the channel, and myself or anyone else will be willing to help if they can. And other than that, there's just a few little sort of like things you can play around with in terms of like collapsing the sidebar, and things like that. But other than that, that should explain all the functionality and the things that this app can do. As I said, if there's any feature requests, jump in the Discord, contact me on Twitter as well if you'd like to. And of course, just look at the website riftlite.com. That's lite.com. And that'll guide you to basically all the community stats in a website page as well. So you don't need to load up the app to see all your stats. So yeah, hope that helped. And yeah, any questions, either comment on the video below or jump in the Discord, and I'll be more than happy to help. Thank you. Bye.